Hi, hello, hello. We are reading now chapter 971 of One Piece, Sentenced to Boil. Just like Odin versus Kaido in the last chapter title, not much ambiguity here. We know the fate of Odin. In fact, that was one of the very first things we learned about Odin, is that he was boiled alive. And at the time, it was just kind of like a strange, silly joke, almost, about his name. But now, having followed his adventures, having seen how they interweave with the greatest legends and deepest mysteries of the entire series, I think it's going to hit a little harder to see him boil, to see him plea for Wano to be opened and connected to the world and for the reign of Kaido to end. So Gyati, after getting beaten up by that marine, gets back up, rushing after Chiffon. It's all up to him, seeing that the other members are quite incapacitated. There's some interesting character designs in the background of this page, especially this guy on the right with the odd hair cape thing. Looks kind of like Killer, but we know that Killer is on Wano right now, so I don't know what's up with him. Anyways, I haven't tasted for poison yet. So here, this is still the daimyo of Kuri, the palace they had. Father's a great man, human, to one day carry this nation upon your shoulders. This is, of course, the castle that gets burned down, right? Where Toki sends them forward in time. It feels like I'm saying spoilers, because probably this stuff will happen like in this chapter. Safe for you, Lord Momonosuke, Lady Hiyori. Ooh, but he's heard. Somehow Momonosuke has found out that his father will be executed. This gigantic pot of boiling water only takes a second because they use oil. Oh my god, that's even worse. You don't just get boiled, you get deep fried. Oh man. Alright, everyone rushing in to watch this spectacle. I never understood why it was that back in the days of public executions they were so popular. I don't know, we don't really have time for these tangents because these chapters are so dense and take so long to read, but doesn't that seem weird to you that they used to just have like hangings out in the public square and there would be a huge crowd of people that just want to go watch someone die? What? Seems really messed up. But whatever, it's a culture I just can't relate to. So he couldn't be Kaido in the end. Even a fool of a lord, I thought his strength was the real deal. So what was he good for anyways? Jeez, these people are savage. And Orochi and Kaido watching, drinking sake, enjoying themselves. We can see Kaido's actually all bandaged up here. So Odin got him pretty good. I request that you give me a chance. It is imperative that I survive. Oh? What? Oh my gosh. Whoa. Horrific. This executioner, this guy that was about to jab Odin into the pot, slips and falls himself. The heck is up with that? Is that some kind of karmic thing? Is this like Odin's plot armor kicking into effect? Is this something that somehow Odin did himself, using the Conqueror's haki for just a second to make him off balance? Or is he actually just extremely clumsy? Either way, it gives us a sense of just how horrific this is, how gruesome a fate this is, and how painful. Just so that we, in case for some reason we thought, what's the big deal? We can see now that Odin is really in for it. All 10 of us will enter the pot together. If any of us withstand the boiling for the amount of time you agree on, please let them go free. Ooh. Ooh. So, what will happen is Odin will somehow hold them all up, I think. He'll save everyone but himself from taking the full force of the boiling oil. Oh man. Oh, this is going to be crazy. You have 1 hour. For 1 hour? He has to do this? It's enough time to get lightheaded in the bath, that's right. And this isn't just hot bath water. This isn't just the fuyu. This is boiling oil. Do I have your word on that? So this is interesting that Kaido agrees to this. Kaido does seem to have honor in some ways. He does seem to respect promises made and such. But at the same time, he's utterly heartless and ruthless and cares not for the suffering of others. And is often, you know, really extraneously cruel. Like this form of execution is unreal. Okay. Oh, and this might be what kind of rekindles the faith in Odin in the public's eyes. Because we know now that the citizens of Wano, some of them may be indifferent, some of them still may be loyal to Kaido, but a lot of them secretly are wishing for the rebellion and the reemergence of the Kozuki clan. They have that very specific faith, which is why the secret symbols and all of that stuff worked out so well. So this might be this final act of his, this heroic act of self-sacrifice and just indomitable will to save his friends for the full hour. All of you, get on top of the plank. Yes, yes. This is his strategy. Stop. This ought to be the other way around, Lord Odin. We should be the one to hold you up. Shut up and stay there. This is an order. Oh, man. This is, I think, quite an iconic scene. Like, just the kind of simplicity of what's happening. It's a man in a boiling pot of oil holding up a lid on which are perched such a wild variety of characters and designs and such. But just the positioning, the layout, the way these flames look at the bottom, so traditional. What I'm saying is that even though it seems kind of convoluted, even though all of these details of like, and a big talking cat was there, and a kappa was there, and this ninja was there, that in the end, it distills down into this scene that I can somehow vividly imagine being pictured in like an ancient scroll depicting a legendary story or something. You know, like it has that kind of appeal. I don't know how to put it. Okay, so this is even crazier than I imagined. It's not just his sacrifice, it's his sacrifice and strength simultaneously. But all 10 of them are within the pot. Very entertaining. Well done, Odin. Kaido applauds him. And Kaido doesn't really care if the other ones live or die. Orochi is kind of freaked out about it. But well, what does Kaido care? He's not afraid of any of their strength. The political implications of them staying alive are of very little concern to him. So he's all for this. What a spectacle. Good job, Odin. He's holding up 9 great big men on his own. It would take incredible physical strength already, but to do it while standing in boiling oil. Shinobu looking on, suffering, in empathy. Hasn't even been 1 minute yet. Whoa. This is excruciating. I like the design of this old-fashioned clock. Feels very Wano-y to be using Japanese numerals instead of Arabic numerals. But did they have a 12-hour clock before the introduction of Arabic numerals? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Just a minute later, people are already aghast. Here's the ninja crew that remained loyal to the shinobi. Or the shogun, sorry. They are the shinobi. Loyal to the shogun. This guy's jacket, the bald guy who's kind of like their leader. I just realized that's like Lance. That's like a shogi piece. Lance can just go straight ahead. I don't know why he has like arrows pointing in all directions of it, because you can only go straight ahead if you're a Lance. Maybe I guess he turns. Anyways. Feel as though the heat alone is going to bake me alive. Stop whining, rise up. All we gotta do is stand here. Don't move. I mean, it is like really, really hot for them too. Can you imagine being in the middle of a pot of boiling oil just feet away from the surface itself? Oh man, this is crazy. And it's oil too. So to keep your balance on the slippery floor of oil, of liquid oil, impossible. See, I thought the crowd would be all like, whoa, he's really doing it. Like, oh my God, he was an amazing person after all. But instead, they're bored. They just want to go home. I don't understand. These people of Wano are just so cynical at this point. They just have nothing left. Dare you call him that? Say it one more time and I'll end your life. Shinobu not having it. Stop. Ooh, but will she sway public opinion? Will she actually be able to restore the faith in the Kozuki clan? If so, she ends up being such an instrumental part of this arc. That's something that I think One Piece is always good for, is having it that when you really think about the causality of everything that happened, all the things that had to go right, a lot of minor characters and their small actions across a whole variety of types of action too, all end up being very instrumental. And sometimes though, when you try to think all this through, it almost becomes quite manic. That you realize like the fragility of the world of One Piece, so to speak. But yeah, Shinobu here making a scene, the other ninjas taking notice. Who do you think has been ensuring that you all live in peace? If you lose Lord Odin now, you'll all come to understand. You'll know just how much misery he kept at bay. Ah, so this is why she was watching, because now she can explain the details of the deal, which I think I've basically worked out, the arrangement they had about the dancing and stuff. Orochi is no shogun or even a dictator. Orochi doesn't want to rule over a populace. If you ask me, every single person in this land is guilty of persecuting the Kozumi clan. The Korozumi clan. Right. I don't care if every last one of them dies. I took the shogun's throne to drive this country into ruin, to complete my vengeance. Well, we kind of understood that. We know that he wasn't really trying to do a good job. I thought he was just all in it for the power and the women and the food, and that what happened to the country was really none of his concern. But it makes a lot of sense, his actions, if you consider that he was deliberately driving the country to ruin. That he just wants to destroy Wano to enact vengeance for his clan. Years ago, my grandpa committed a crime and was forced to commit seppuku. Our clan fell into ruin, and that was one thing. But then the rest of the family left behind was terrorized and chased by strangers who were claiming they were performing justice. They beat us, threw us in the river, killed us. I was so terrified of the mob of fools that I couldn't sleep. The man who committed the crime was long dead at this point. Apparently, even a child can be a criminal if he happens to have the name Korozumi. So everyone in Wano is a target for my vengeance. You will reap what you've sown. Actually quite compelling. Kind of a rare moment of sympathy for Orochi. I felt the same way, back during that flashback within a flashback, where Orochi is talking about meeting the old crane and the priest of the Korozumi clan, who explained this history to him. I realized that there was kind of a sensible motivation, that in his mind this all kind of made sense. That the entire country had come to hate his family. Not him specifically, but something outside of his control. Simply the name he was born into. So, Orochi, you can understand why he's the way he is. He's sure a bastard, that's for sure. Not an empathetic bone in his body. But the extent of his vengeance, the extent of his depraved schemes to destroy Wano, it kind of makes sense. Then from a room in the back he produced a tribute for Kaido, a great stock of weapons, and many hundreds of kidnapped people. They'll be sold, tortured, or killed. Once handed over, their lives would be finished, their fates sealed. Lord Odin was furious. But then Orochi made a suggestion. So this, we never got to see. We saw that Kaido showed up. I assumed that Kaido just kind of curb stomped Odin. That Kaido was just like, all right, well, I can kill you, or you can humiliate yourself, and I won't kill you, your friends, and all your family and stuff. That's kind of what I assumed happened. But we know now that Odin actually was probably like Kaido tier. That Odin probably could have defeated Kaido if they were just fighting straight up. Which is why, of course, they came to this other arrangement. For Kaido's sake, he delayed battle. I want to stop the kidnapping, but if you go to war against us, you will lose far more than you bargained for. Enemy was an agent of vengeance with no interest in the good of the country. It was clear that a lot more would be lost than just the question of victory or defeat. So Lord Odin chose to accept Orochi's offer. He made a public dance in the buff at the same time every week as an apology to the Korozumi clan. And he would lose all of his standing, but he would save 100 lives with each dance. He trusted their promise that 5 years later, they would agree to sail away from this country when they were done building their ships. Oh, that's like the missing ingredient. That's what I didn't quite understand. Is that it was supposed to just be a limited time thing. And from Odin's perspective, this probably seems like a pretty good deal. They don't have to have a messy battle that would be bad for both sides. They get to do whatever they want in Wano within limits. They don't get to kidnap people, but they get to produce all of their ships and all of their weapons and pollute like crazy and do all of these other disgraceful things. And then they just, in mutual peace, sail off, and Odin gets Wano back. Seems like a pretty good arrangement, right? But no. That's why he went from region to region every week, to check in on everyone, to make sure things were still okay. And that's why he suddenly snapped. That's why after 5 years, he realized they had lied and that it was time to fight back. Intense. So intense. For all these years, Lord Odin has been protecting this land. So tell me again, who are you calling a fool of a lord? All right. Orochi and Kaido just laughing. But I think they should be a little more worried that this truth is coming out and that all of the citizenry is totally against them now. That their plan to disgrace Lord Odin has come to nothing. But I suppose, you know, that was just for their own amusement, really. Like, that was for their own amusement and to delay the battle because they wanted more forces before they fought. They didn't really care about it destroying Odin's reputation. That was just kind of a nice bonus because they really have no fear about the populace anymore. They already defeated the Wano's mightiest warriors in the previous fight. So why would they care whether or not people are on Team Odin? They should though, because what's going to happen in present times? We'll find out. We will find out soon. We'll read the next chapter. I feel like the flashback must be coming to an end soon. But there's still the fire and the leap through time. I guess that'll be maybe this chapter. And then that'll be nice. Once we get caught up, we're probably going to start the post-flashback action. So that's a nice coincidence. Okay, bye-bye for now.